After having the paint dry for about a week, it turned out to be pretty damn bad. It had a lot of orange peel all over the place, and it also had some dust in it on the bonnet and various other small spots. So I decided to give it a sand down and a polish. Now this is 2K clear, so it's a bit different to the method I did for the 1K clear on the Nissan Silvia build, as it is a lot harder to scratch this paint and a lot harder to get the scratches out. So it takes a bit longer. The same materials were used, and in the end I even decided to give it a machine polish, but later more about that. So with that first giant piece of dust out, I moved on to sanding the rest of the body down to the 2000 grit, making sure to leave the edges and roundovers alone and just focusing on all the flat spots. Just to give you guys a bit of a better idea what I mean with the flat spots and leaving them alone, all the dull spots are sanded down and all the shiny spots are left alone, as it would be either too hard to get the sandpaper in it, not necessary for it to be sanded down, or would be too easy to burn through the paint. Now I'm just moving on to doing pretty much exactly the same as what I did with the 2000 grit, but now I'm doing it with 2500. After this step, I even moved up to 3000 grit, getting it smoother and getting all those rougher grit scratches out. With the body all the way sanded to 3000 grit, I moved on to the Scratch X from wires. Now what this does is basically sandpaper in a liquid form and a polish in one. It gets rid of the 3000 grit scratches and makes them even finer. I'm not even sure to which grit it goes, but it's a lot finer than the 3000 grit, and it makes the shine come back to the paint basically. That's pretty much all that it does. So you apply a bit of the Scratch X on your polishing cloth or on the body, and you just start rubbing it in until you're satisfied, and you can easily see the shine come back in it pretty quickly. So after a while you can immediately see the difference in the roof and the bonnet. It has a lot more shine back into it, and that's pretty much the point of this. Now the second stage is to use a polish. This is step 2 in the Meguiar's 3-step program, and this basically does the same as the Scratch X, but then is a lot finer again, getting rid of more of the scratches and getting a lot of the shine back into the paint. And again, after a while you can see the shine is a lot more than it was before this stage. And with that done, it's time to move on to the third stage, giving it some protection and even more shine from the Carnauba wax. You put this on lightly, then let it dry for a couple of minutes and then wipe it off. With the light coat of wax applied, you let it dry for about 2 to 3 minutes. It starts to get a bit whitey, and then just take out your cloth and polish it back to a full shine. Before I started the polishing process, I knew that I was not going to be satisfied with the end result. That's because the scratches can still be seen pretty clearly after you finish the third stage, and that's not really up to my standard. So as you can see in these pictures, the paint is still a bit hazy and white, as the scratches are white scratches in the clear coat, and they leave a sort of haze all over the body, not giving it the full shine. So with me not being satisfied, I move on to an experimental phase. I did this a couple of years back, and I bought this Proxxon rotary tool specially for this job. Ended up using it for a lot of other stuff as well, but that doesn't really matter. I bought it specifically for this job with some of the polishing bits into it, and I started polishing the body. Back then I didn't really have any success with it, as I didn't really have the correct materials to use and the correct polishes to use and enough knowledge. Now I tried it again this time with the correct polishes, which I used in the video, and applying the least amount of pressure at the lowest speed setting, coming out with this as a result. A fantastic looking paint job with an amazingly deep shine into it. Sadly, I did not take out the GoPro to film everything this time, as I was kind of frustrated with the way the polishing job came out in the first place, and I wanted to give it my full attention. Next time I run into a paint job like this with the need of correction with these tools, I will of course make a video for you guys.